Hey, good evening and welcome to another episode of Paul vs. Food. And on tonight's episode, we're making homemade Italian bread. If you're ready, let's get started. So here's what we're going to need. A good quality bread flour, water, salt, and rapid rise yeast. First thing we need to do the day before is make a starter batch. A couple of cups of flour, a little rapid rise yeast, stir that around, kind of get it all incorporated. And then you add your water. We're going to stir this around until everything gets incorporated and we have a shaggy dough. You can dump it out on your work surface. And we're going to gently knead this until everything comes together. Now take a clean bowl, coat it with some cooking spray, place your starter back in it, and cover it tightly with some plastic wrap. Cover it with a towel and set it in a warm place overnight. The next day we're going to place flour in our mixing bowl. We'll place our rapid rise yeast. Give it a little stir. And we'll put our water in. Place our dough hook on, and we're going to mix this for a little bit. At this point, 3 to 4 minutes in, your dough should clear the side of the bowl. And we're going to loosely cover it and let it rest for 20 minutes. Next, we'll place 1 of the 2 teaspoons of salt in, and then we'll add our starter batch. We'll put the dough hook back on at this point, and we're going to continue to mix this for another 3 to 4 minutes. We'll place our 2nd teaspoon of salt in, and we're going to mix that again until everything is thoroughly combined, another 3 to 4 minutes. Coat a large glass bowl with cooking spray. And dump your dough into the bowl. We're going to cover this tightly with plastic wrap, and we're going to let it rise a total of 3 times, an hour each. When the dough is risen, we're going to reach in and fold it on itself. Cover it back up, and we'll let it rise for another hour. You guessed it, we're going to fold it on itself one more time. One more hour of rise, and we'll start to shape it. Now on parchment paper, we're going to place some cornmeal down, spread that around, and we're going to flour our workstation. Dump our dough back out. And we'll cut this into 2 fairly even pieces. Now we're going to roll the dough out into a large log. And we'll cut it straight down the middle. Next, we'll cut each piece in half again. Now it's time to braid our bread. Next, we're going to twist and pinch the edge together. And carefully lift it up onto our parchment paper. Repeat the process for the second loaf. And we're going to cover them with a little plastic wrap. Now for topping, we're going to use some water with a little bit of cornstarch. And stir it around with a fork, and then 15 to 20 seconds in the microwave. This will not only help our sesame seeds stick, but give a nice glazed coating. Next, we'll take a baking tray, slide it in underneath our baking stone, and let that heat up for an hour while our bread is rising. Gently coat the top of each loaf with our cornstarch and water mixture. And then sprinkle the top with sesame seeds. Next, we'll place each loaf onto the baking stone at 500 degrees with the steamer tray underneath it. And we'll bake this for 10 minutes. Now we're going to pull our parchment paper out from underneath it. Be very careful this time. You don't want to damage the bread or get burnt in the process. Remove the water tray, and we're going to lower the temperature to 400 degrees. We'll continue baking this for another 20 to 30 minutes until our bread is golden brown. I'm going to set it on a wire rack to cool, and once it's cooled down, it's time to eat. Well, our bread is hot out of the oven. Just cut me a piece, put a little butter on it. Let's give it a try. That is amazing bread right there. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in once again to Paul vs. Food. If you like this episode, subscribe to my channel. Give it a like. Give it a share. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Paul vs. Food. And have a good night.